What if you suddenly fell asleep? In the middle of your day? In the street, at work, or even while talking to someone? Now imagine this happening to dozens of people. In the same village. For days. Over and over again. Welcome to Kalachi, Kazakhstan. A real place where people were struck by a bizarre illness. One that made them fall into a deep sleep for no reason, sometimes for a whole week. This is the strange true story of the Sleepy Hollow of Central Asia. And no one, not even scientists, could explain it for years. This is our weird world, where the strangest stories become reality. If you love these kinds of tales, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and hit the bell. This way you'll be notified whenever new content comes out, and you'll help this channel grow. Now back to the story. It all started in early 2013. A few residents of Kalachi, a small remote village in northern Kazakhstan, began to experience something deeply unsettling. They weren't just feeling tired, they were falling into a sudden, unnatural sleep, as if someone had flipped a switch in their brains. People collapsed in the middle of the day, in the middle of tasks at any place they would find themselves. And they didn't wake up for hours. Sometimes for days. One man was found slumped over his steering wheel, unconscious for nearly 4 days. Another woman was cooking when she blacked out. She woke up in a hospital, completely disoriented. Doctors were baffled. They ran toxicology tests, brain scans and blood panels. Nothing made sense. This wasn't a virus. It wasn't a known disease. It wasn't psychological. And soon, it wasn't just a few people. There were dozens. Over the next 2 years, the strange sleep began to spread. By 2014, over 60 villagers had experienced episodes. By 2015, more than 120. And Kalachi only had around 600 people. Some people fell asleep once. Others, multiple times. Entire households would suddenly go still. Children would drift off during school and collapse at their desks. When they woke up, the symptoms didn't end. Many had temporary memory loss, confusion, slurred speech, nightmares. One child said he saw monsters in the walls. People feared they were being poisoned. Or cursed. The village began to empty out. Tourists avoided it. Even mail carriers were hesitant to approach. And the strangest part? No one had any idea where it was coming from. Theories spread quickly. Some blamed it on mold or local crops. Others thought of mass hysteria. But nothing explained the consistency of the symptoms, the blood tests, the ages affected, the repeat cases. Attention turned to a nearby town, Krasnogorsk. Just a few kilometers away, it had once been a thriving Soviet mining settlement. Now, it was completely abandoned. During the Cold War, it was used for uranium extraction. The kind used in nuclear reactors and, possibly, weapons. Could gases be leaking from the old mines? Was radioactive dust seeping into Kalachi's air or water? Some scientists proposed that carbon monoxide and hydrocarbon gases were escaping from the uranium tunnels, lowering oxygen levels and triggering hypersomnia. But not everyone was convinced. For one thing, the levels weren't always consistent. And not everyone was affected in the same way. Plus, no similar symptoms were reported in other areas near the mine. That led some to suggest something darker. A secret Soviet experiment. Hidden chemicals. Even paranormal activity. The Kazakh government launched a formal investigation. Scientists, doctors, and military personnel visited the site. They took samples and installed monitoring equipment. Still, answers were few and far between. Meanwhile, the village continued to sleep. Frustrated and afraid, many residents accepted relocation offers from the government. Entire families were moved to safer areas. Some refused to leave, afraid their homes would be bulldozed. Others simply had nowhere else to go. Eventually, the sleep incidents began to slow down. In 2016, a final government report concluded that the cause was likely toxic gas buildup from the abandoned uranium mine. They claimed pockets of carbon monoxide were lowering oxygen levels, triggering sudden unconsciousness. But many villagers weren't satisfied. Why did it affect some people multiple times, and others not at all? Why did it start so suddenly, decades after the mine was abandoned? Why were no other nearby towns affected? Daily life in Kalachi during those years was marked by fear and uncertainty. Some families kept emergency kits and oxygen masks at home. Others refused to sleep at night, afraid they wouldn't wake up. Children began to show signs of anxiety. School attendance dropped. Community events were cancelled. A few residents tried to leave the village on their own, walking for miles to the next town just to avoid driving in case they blacked out. One local said, "It felt like living inside a dream." But it was real. Even the village animals seemed uneasy. Some pets refused to go outside. There were strange reports of livestock behaving erratically, though no conclusive link was found. For years, Kalachi existed in this strange limbo, half awake, half asleep. The mine is sealed. The tourists are gone. And the headlines have faded. But for the people who lived there, and slept there, the mystery still lingers. Was it an environmental disaster? A Soviet secret? Or something no one yet understands? One villager said, "It was like the earth itself wanted us to leave." Whatever happened in Kalachi, it remains one of the strangest unexplained phenomena in modern history. And in our weird world. That's saying something. If you made it this far, thanks again for the support. Subscribe to our weird world for more true stories that are too strange to make up. Share this video to let everyone know that our planets still have unsolved mysteries. Until next time.